In our last video, you would have seen us travel back home to the UK after 4 months of traveling. If you haven't already, make sure you go back and check out that video. But now it's time for a quick stopover here in the UK before we are off again, so let's start at the beginning. Good morning, welcome to week 18. We are back in the UK in our puffer jackets.
It's so cold here, so cold, but nice to be back.
Good to be back indeed. We're just on our morning walk. It's about 8 AM in the morning. We smashed the jet lag in one night, so that was good. Jet lag is normally better when you're coming backwards. But really the plan for this week is just to settle back into work and also just go and see family, go and see friends and all of that kind of good stuff. So it should be quite an exciting week because of that. So let's get straight into it. So I'm finally all unpacked. Upon unpacking my suitcase though, I had this, which is basically a notification to say that my checked bag was searched for a battery and looks like nothing's missing. So first time I've ever had one of these in my suitcase after traveling. Anyone else had one of those before?
One of the first things we need to do now that we're back is actually book, because we haven't done that yet and we're going to be in 2 weeks, so we really need to get that done. So we're going to tuck into our toasties, which I have been craving for the longest time, and look at booking.
Here we come! So I am off out for dinner this evening to see the boys. It's been a little while, so I'm gonna get in a Nando's, which used to be kind of like a weekly or maybe once every 2 weeks kind of thing for us. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them. Let's go that right now. Nando's with the boys. Give us a wave.
Are we doing all right?
3 new subscribers here today.
Oh, baby.
Time to split the G. Oh, eat the thirsty one today, boys. Cheers. It is a very cold and foggy morning this morning, but today we're heading up to London town to get in some work. I like to have a bit of a change of scenery rather than working at home every day, so yeah, and it's always good to see the sights of London at the same time, so taking you guys with me. Made it to Holborn, which is where we're going to be working from today. I'm going to start off in a Caffè Nero. Grab myself a little hot chocolate. I haven't had one of these in a while, actually. Ooh, that hits a spot on a cold morning.
A couple of hours later, I also headed up to town to have a little glimpse of my old life and career.
As some of you know, I was a hairdresser before I left to go travelling, and I have just come back to do a couple of clients. So I've done a couple and now I'm having a little break. I'm off to Oxford Street to meet my girls, which I'm super excited for. We're gonna have a pizza and then I've got one more client, then heading on home.
I do love London, but one thing that I haven't missed is rush hour on the Underground. I've worked in London for 12 years and still to this day I hate getting on the tube. But to be honest, I didn't film too much more after that because one, I was too carried away catching up with 2 of my closest friends, and also it's become really common to have your phone stolen from your hand when walking around London, so truthfully it's just not worth walking with your phone out. So there's a tip for you if you're ever planning on coming to London. Today is a sister day and my sister has taken me to come and play shuffleboarding, which I've never played in my life, and I don't think I'm doing too well at the moment. Another day, another walk. After the dog walk, I went off to do a couple more haircuts and then back to London to meet Tom, who was working up there again, but I did get a little bit distracted on my way. For copyright reasons, I can't have the original audio, but just imagine One Direction blasting out so loud. Honestly, this was just amazing. I absolutely loved watching this.
When Lottie finally made it, we went to Club Mexicana in Shoreditch with some of our friends. Lottie got recommended this place before we left, but we didn't have time to go there, unfortunately. So we had to make sure we made it this time, and so glad we did because it was so good. We had the fish and chip tacos, the cheeseburger tacos, the burritos, the nachos, the lot. It was definitely one to visit and highly recommend if you're in London.
There they are. Look at these two.
Today is Mother's Day and Tom and I are spending it separately. He's going to spend it with his mum and I'll spend it with my mum. I am just going to head downstairs now and I'm going to make an afternoon tea. I'm going to make a couple of cupcakes and some scones, and then later on this evening I'm going to make my version of a roast dinner. I'd really miss baking whilst I was away. I actually find it quite meditative. I tend to follow most of my recipes by Little Blogger Vegan. They're so easy to follow and they just taste so good. Perfect. Now I was a little bit rusty and I forgot to buy a few things for the decorating, but it didn't matter because it tasted okay in the end. We spent the rest of the day playing games with the dogs as well, and it turns out Tom was doing the exact same thing over at his house.
We love a good escape room in our house, so Dad bought the board game version, and my sister, my mum, my dad, and my sister's husband Harley, we all spent about 5 hours trying to escape this thing. Thankfully we did, but it took a lot longer than expected. After that, we had a beautifully home-cooked roast dinner, which is my #1 craving when we come back to the UK. Lottie also cooked herself a butternut squash Wellington. That was the perfect way to end Mother's Day. Nothing like a lie down after a Sunday roast with the football on. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like button. We'd really appreciate it. Join us next week, or join me next week I should say, as I head over to Morocco in Africa, tick off a new continent. It's going to be a lot of fun.